Who Put This On, Season 7, Episode 3, where we watch Claim to Fame, Season 1, Episode 1. And the biggest award I've ever had in my life is sitting on my fat ass. I'm Chris Lorenz.
Your accent says Georgia, your boots say Texas, but your face is London. I'm Brian.
If this is your first time joining us, we watch a different reality show each week, discussing it in minute detail, figuring out if it's good or bad. And last week, we watched The Rehearsal, and we gave that a top third show rating. And we had a poll on Twitter, and you guys also gave it a top third. So we're all on simpatico. If you want to tell us what you thought about this show, you can reach out. You can find us our poll on Twitter at Who Put This On. Brian, what is this week's show?
This week we watched Claim to Fame, co-hosted by siblings Kevin and Frankie Jo-nas. This series challenges 12 celebrity relatives to step outside their famous family members' shadows and live together under one roof, concealing their identities and lineage in the quest for their own fame and fortune. They compete in challenges, form alliances, and play DNA detective in hopes of avoiding elimination and winning the coveted $100,000 prize. That's Claim to Fame on ABC.
Thank you, Brian. So we talked about this a little bit last week at the end of the pod, but I thought this show sounded like the most ludicrously bad show of all time. I was like, how do you make it out of a pitch room? If this is your show, you have 10 people, they're related to other people, and you have to guess who they're related to, sounds fucking awful.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody has, like, who would not know, like, all these celebrities? Just like, oh, yeah, you're not giving away any information, but you kind of look like Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, it's so I say that is saying I came in with the lowest of low expectations, and I think the show was actually fine. Like, it is surprisingly fine. Like, if you are somebody that likes The Masked Singer, you will love this show. It is The Masked Singer, but like taken to another, like, it's just different level. I think it's probably better than The Masked Singer, but it is the same vein. Guess the minor celebrity, or guess the this time you get to guess the major celebrity, which is way more exciting than guessing the minor celebrity, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I do think that they've taken that and they were like, okay, we're going to make The Masked Singer, but instead of guessing, who they are, you guess who they're related to, which like gets you to guess like way higher celebrities. Like somebody was going to guess in this Steven Spielberg. And like Steven Spielberg would never fucking set foot on a set that had The Masked Singer on it at one point in time, let alone be on The Masked Singer. So like, there's no way you'd ever guess him. So these are the like kind of level of guesses you can make that are actually kind of logical.
That's definitely what made it the most fun for me too. I liked The Masked Singer initially because it was a bunch of like random no names, and unfortunately they just went to like, oh yeah, you want to advertise your new movie, okay. So it became like bigger names. I think that this show has the possibility of getting there, but I don't know how many grandkids are usually getting like to the same level of stardom.
There's no one on here is famous, Brian.
No, not right now. Nobody's famous on here, but like, let's say it was like, I don't know, Peyton Manning's stepson or something like that. I don't know, like where it's just like,
all right, spoiler alert. We're going to tell you who was revealed in this episode. So somebody was related to Chuck Norris. That's a pretty big celebrity. That's the level of people we're talking about who you could guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's way more appealing than like, oh, because you know who the fuck Chuck Norris is. I don't know who the third string backup on the fucking Redskins was. Sorry, Redskins, the Washington football team or the Commanders. Like, I don't know who that is. I don't care to know who that is. And I don't care if they can sing or not sing. Like, that's what I think about The Masked Singer. Now, this show, you're trying to actually guess, legit celebrities. Like, whether, you think Simone Biles is a celebrity or if you think Chuck Norris is undoubtedly a celebrity. For sure. So, and we don't know who really anyone is. Like, we're not spoiling really anything outside the first episode.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is, like, in the first episode, one was like, easily identified, and they're just saving that as, like, bait for later. Otherwise, like, we don't really know anybody else.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, actually, we do know somebody else, which we can get into.
Yeah.
But you know, all right. Let's talk about the show. Let's talk about our hosts here, Kevin Jo-nas and Frankie Jo-nas. Now, this is the Jonas Brothers universe. I don't believe Kevin Jo-nas was in the Housewives show we watched at some point. I think that was one of the other Jonases. What are the other Jonases? Do you know who they are?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I was never big
I
into
will
the
look
Jo-nas
that up
brothers.
while we talk about Frankie Jo-nas is not part of the music group. And he was pretty funny in this. I thought that he played really well the younger, not famous celebrity in this game about guessing celebrity. I thought it played really well. I thought it was really good casting.
Yeah, and what's funny is you can kind of tell that he's part of that family. He's got that same banter with his brother that you would normally expect from growing up with somebody, and then also okay, yeah, I got to put out some energy. That because everybody else had something else that they were focused on.
Well, everyone knows what's his name?
Kevin.
Everyone knows Kevin, and no one has any idea that there's a fourth Jonas brother.
Right.
This is his claim to fame. This is his apex, 100%. This is not Kevin's apex, but this is Frankie's apex for sure.
I don't know. Jonas Brothers was pretty shit. I am kidding.
So the other person, so we've had lots of Jonas Brother universe. They love reality shows for some reason. So Nick Jo-nas is in a lot of the Netflix reality shows. He's in Love Is Blind. He was in the marital one where they broke up marital couples for some reason, or
Netflix's Temptation Island.
Yeah.
Shoot. What was it?
What was that called?
I don't care.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, don't watch that show. It's not very good. But he's in it. And then Joe Jonas was one of our first sightings of the Jonas Brothers. And he was in we did a Real Housewives in season 1. And he just shows up. He's doing construction on one of these houses. And we're just like, was that Joe Jonas doing construction? He's a fucking famous music star. He's doing construction. We're like, how far has he fallen? And they seem to have picked themselves up vastly from that point.
Just a little bit,
I'm sure there's other Jonas appearances, but I don't remember exactly who they are.
Yeah, it's very wild. For other universes like the MTV universe and Netflix universe, it's all constrained, but this is just scattershot all over. You can't predict what they're going to do next. They don't even know what they're going to do next.
Joe Jonas is also married to Sophie Turner, and that's a good get for Joe Jonas for sure.
Hell yeah.
And we know Nick Jonas is married to somebody famous too. I don't remember who it is off the top of my head. But good radio here. Kevin Jo-nas is also married, but it doesn't seem like a famous person. Danielle DeLisa, reality television personality. She best known for starring on Married to Jonas. Do we need to do Jonas Brothers month, Brian?
No.
All right. Yeah. So I like the host. They did a good job, I thought. And we'll move on. Let's get on to the people. So they started out the show with there's 10 people, right? They're all in a ballroom together, wearing ballroom attire. And the Jonas Brothers comes in and they're doing 2 truths and a lie, which sometimes there's multiple lies, which I don't understand how that works. But so they all play this. So we'll go through that's what they do first. Then they do a talent show, and the winner of the talent show gets a clue to somebody in the house, and they can't be voted out at this guessing ceremony. And then the bottom 2 get voted. One of them gets voted into the guessing ceremony. We'll get to the guessing ceremony, I think, probably at the end. But at least while we're going through the people, we could talk about their talent that they went through. While we're talking about the truths and lies. So we got X. He's number 1. He looks like Jack Sparrow if he was a fat, wannabe white guy.
Yeah, you mentioned ballroom attire. My first thought was Jack Sparrow was not dressed in ballroom attire.
A lot of people were dressed in ballroom attire, Brian. So we didn't write all of them down, but we wrote some of them down.
Well, they went through like a few of them, very detailed, and we got to listen to like all their like lies and their backstories. Then they just flew through 5 of them, and I just gave up at like 3.
Well, they didn't even say them all. So it's kind of, I think if I was watching this and I really liked guessing, I would have been fucking annoyed at this. Because, like, this gives so much information about what their strategy of their game is, what they're trying to play. At least it should. And you just don't show it all. Like, I kind of thought it was boring, so I was glad they didn't. But if I was really trying to guess, I'd be kind of annoyed.
That's probably why the producers like shortened it. They're like, yeah, it's boring. Fuck it.
All right. So X said it was his father, but it was not his father. He said that it's an actor. I wrote it's. I don't know if that's correct. Anyway, it was an actor. His biggest award was an Emmy, and that was a truth. But X is not his name, surprisingly.
Because it's Alex.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that. So he, quote unquote, was a composer for the talent show, and they showed him playing piano.
Yeah, that was something.
His strategy was, I'm going to win the challenges. He didn't win the challenge.
What, like, listening to him play was immediately reminded me of stuff like grade school talent shows where you'd be like, okay, yeah, like you're doing it, and then it's not that great.
So Maxwell is the next person. He said that it was his grandfather, which was true. He said it was a singer, which was not true. And the biggest award was a star on the Walk of Fame. I don't remember if that was true or not. But
Yeah, he has one. He had it for.
No, I know, but is that the biggest award he's ever won? Has he never won like a TV Emmy or whatever?
I don't know if that show's winning one. Like, I love you. Like, should we reveal the ending of it? Like,
yes. I mean, we already said who the end was, so why not?
okay, yeah. He's related to Chuck Norris.
Yeah, his grandfather's Chuck Norris. So.
Yeah, sorry, but I don't think Walker Texas Ranger is getting any awards, nor like any of the various action movies that he's been in. Like, they're great, but they're not award winning.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know. So, yeah. Anything to really note about this guy? I mean, let's talk about the end at the end after all this. But like, he was talking to X for a while. He's like, yeah, when I got to talk to my grandfather, I got to go through multiple guys, got to go through the attorneys when he's on set or whatever. And it's just like, man, you're giving a lot of information away in this edit. Made it seem like he was pretty free flowing with information. But I don't think, like, there was 0% chance anyone was guessing who his grandfather was.
No way.
Like, again, we already, somebody guessed that he was going to be Steven Spielberg's, his grandfather, Steven Spielberg, because he kind of looked lanky with like the hair of Steven Spielberg.
I think that's how I guess the beginning ones will be a lot about looks while they don't have much clues. Then later, as clues come out, then it'll be like, okay, yeah, you're probably related to so-and-so, even though you don't look like them.
Well, I mean, it's how all of these things kind of work, right? It's like the first week we have no idea, and then as like we see the edit and we see some clues come out, you give a good idea of who they are. But they did give away a couple people, which I feel like is dishonest or like does a disservice to the show. So so we're gonna talk about Amara. She's next, and they just flat out said that her grandmother is Whoopi Goldberg.
Yep.
And it's like, well, now there's one less person to guess, Brian. Like, if the point of the show, which I only have to imagine, is the people at home are also trying to guess who these people are. Because, like, what the fuck else is the show about? Why are you watching this? So, like, to just flat out give something away is just like, I think it flat out says, this is the most popular person, the most famous person on the show. Like,
and that was a requirement of the contract or anything.
No, it's just like, oh, we're gonna really tee them up. Like, these are the level of celebrities you can expect. It's like Whoopi Goldberg, but like at the end of the day, I think it does a disservice to people that want to watch the show.
It does. I agree with that now. I didn't really think about it at the time, but now I'm very against that. I'm happy they didn't reveal it.
Well, they did reveal it.
Well, like they didn't reveal it for a lot of them.
Yeah. I think that's the only one they like. Well, they gave 2 away.
Yeah.
That was one of them. So 2 out of 10. So you only have 8 other guesses, and one of them's gone now after that first episode. So you got 7 left.
Jeez. I mean, there's probably only going to be 7 episodes anyway. What does it matter?
Yeah, whatever. I don't really have anything notes other than I wrote "Be a strong bitch."
And come back happy.
You you got the whole quote down.
Also said that the relative is most famous for an Avian Award, which she had to identify that it was an adult film award.
Oh yeah, Avian Award, yeah.
And of course, Maxwell knew that.
I feel like most people know that, no?
I don't know. I didn't really know that.
I feel like I watched, what was that movie? The Girl Next Door. I feel like good movie. Well, I don't know if it's good. I liked it. It was probably a fine movie, but you know, they go to the AVNs. There's like a whole AVN plot. Anyway, let's talk about Brittany. She said it was her dad, and it was an athlete, and he won an Emmy, which he didn't win. That was the lie. And for her talent, she painted art. Like she did a Lucille Ball on stage in like 3 minutes. And then she had this really fun reveal of like, here's what it looks like. And then she threw up like glitter and made it look super cool. And then she ended up winning the episode because of that.
That was an amazing art piece. I also thought that like her Two Truths and a Lie were so terribly dumb.
Oh,
Because-
absolutely. There's
Oh.
no way they think an athlete has won an Emmy.
They're really playing that like Masked Singer thing. Oh yeah, my dad's an athlete, but can also sing his ass off.
Yeah, absolutely not. No one believes that. Sorry.
Yeah,
not
well,
sorry.
it's got to be like one of the two. So like, you know it's her dad.
Yeah, and sometimes the fourth lie, generally when we talked about there's 4 lies, is like their name, because it would go up and be like, truth, lie, and then they would say their name and it would say it was a lie. And it's like, well, the game's 2 truths and a lie. Like, I get that their name's a lie, but like showing it up in the screen with the like graphics also as a lie was weird.
I wonder if the names would have been a clue, and that then the producers made them change it.
It's possible, especially for LC, which we could talk about. LC, she said it was her father. It's not. It's an actor. He's won an Emmy, and her name is not LC. But she, like, in her confessionals, were like, yeah, we're going to learn who LC is together because I'm not an actor. And, like, so we're figuring that out. And her talent was she sung the Star Spangled Banner, which that's a bold choice. And it did not pay off for her because she was in the bottom.
Yeah, it didn't really pay off for in any way, shape, or form. Oh, you chose a Star Spangled Banner, and then like if you're not that good at singing, like you chose a song. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, amazing that she got in the bottom because we have Louise, which is not her name, but she's related to Simone Biles, as she told us in her confessionals. Her real name's Adria or Andrea Biles. I think it's Adria. And she shoots basketballs. She shoots 3 basketballs, makes one of them, and is not in the bottom. What fucking world are we in? Like, I don't care how bad your singing is. If you go up there in a talent show and you make 1 out of 3 baskets, you are in the bottom.
Yeah, you're just like watching somebody just.
That is an abject failure.
Oh man, I wonder what happened after that too. I bet that she shot more and we didn't see it either, because that's the only way, right?
I have no idea. I don't care if you had to shoot 10 baskets and you missed 2 of them. That's still a failure. Like in a talent show, you got to come up and you got to really like basketball. You got to be good. Can't be bad.
The thing is, like for a lot of these, they weren't that good, and that's what made it
why
amazing.
like we heard her sing a little bit. I didn't think it was particularly bad, but I'm not good at judging that. So like she must have been horrible. Like this edit made her seem like it was fine, but
Sorry,
like,
Chris. Sorry, Chris. No, it didn't.
didn't.
No.
Okay.
It was really bad. So there were a lot of points where they flashed to the audience and like you could see the audience cringe, and then like I could also hear it and it was very cringe and it was not the happiest time.
Okay. I don't know anything about singing, so it sounded fine to me. So definitely would have been Louise there as the loser for me. My point. We can talk about, who do we skip? Logan. It's not his grandfather, but he said it was his grandfather. Is a musician. He also has like a southern accent.
No, he was faking that.
Well, he digs into the southern accent.
Yeah.
Everyone says he's faking it. I didn't really know if he was or not.
I thought he said he was faking it, but like I can't remember.
He said
now.
he was from Georgia, so like, I don't know. Didn't seem like he was faking it. But what do
fair.
I know? He sings a song for his talent show. Brian, how was the song?
Crushed it. I was like, yeah, he's number 2, if not like compared to Brittany. He was either one of them. We didn't really get like a strong applause for Logan, but like it was still like pretty good.
He got a lot of airtime. Like your quip came from him. Like somebody told him that like your shoes say Texas, your accent says Georgia, and your face says London. Like that was what somebody told him. And then he said he was from Tennessee, throw people off, but no one's going to believe him.
No.
Then we got Lark. It's her aunt is the celebrity, is all I got. And she played violin at the competition.
That was another one that shot to the audience and got a little bit of cringe.
Yeah, she did not play the violin very well. That I can agree with. Then we got Pepper. She made a cocktail, and she was in the apparently really poorly. Like, this seems like a bad talent, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, because it's a fucking cooking reality show. You can't taste the margarita. You don't know how good it is.
Yeah, this is the bottom 2. But at that point, it's like, how of a show can you make about making this cocktail? And it looked like she was trying to make it a show.
No. She was trying to be on like a morning show where they're like, oh yeah, let's learn how to make this barbecue ham.
I don't know. The other people on the show, we got Michael. Famous person was a dancer, and he did some sort of sketch for his like talent show. It was very unclear with what the edit said was his like what he did.
Yeah, he started like singing a song, but it was definitely supposed to be a one-man show, and it was just as weird as you'd think it would be.
Clearly better than making a cocktail or singing poorly.
You're right. That's a real shit cocktail, dude. If you could let somebody taste it, anything would have been better then.
I don't know. So 2 people that are on the show that I have no idea who they are is Dominique and Kai.
Yeah.
Literally saw nothing about them.
They definitely took this like episode to focus on a few people who are going to be key players, and then they're going to introduce the rest later. And I appreciated that because I did not want to write all this down. But to your point, it just fucks over everybody who's trying to guess.
Yeah. I mean, this is the way to do a reality show. This is the way to edit it. Show 8 people maximum seems very reasonable. And even then, we got like 6 people and like kind of showed 2 people. Like there's a couple people where we didn't get that. 6 people really got the attention. So like, I mean, that's what I prefer. And if you're going to watch this, I don't think it's a bad thing. I do think it would be nice if they would cut back to the 2 truths and a lie for some of these people in the next episode, which they could do.
Yeah.
Certainly possible. So you would know kind of more about what they're like, them, you know? And I don't think it's a detriment. It's just like, we can't talk about it because we don't know who they are.
Yep. Yeah, they also could have just shown. So as we're going through everybody, they only said one part of it and indicated whether that one part was a truth or lie. They could have shown all 3 and just been like, oh, here's your lie, or like point out the lie in the text form so that you have to be like kind of paying attention, and then you just show that ad break and you're making money. ABC, hire me.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
So there's a clue. So they have a wall of clues, which is just like a wall of wine bottles. I don't know who came up with this, but it's just like they had a wine cellar and they just like put pieces of paper on wine bottles. And so Brittany took off one of Louise, I think. Or no, Lark. So the clue was runway queen in 8 shirts. But it was like
8 T's.
8 T's?
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote T-shirts, which in pictograms. So it wasn't even like that wasn't spelled out. But it was spelled out to us at home.
She got like half of it. And I really appreciated the clue being done that way. It was not outright. It was like you still have to think, and eventually, like something will piece it together.
But the runway queen, that automatically makes me go to like, what's her face from the famous drag queen?
You talking about RuPaul?
Yeah, RuPaul.
I don't know. I'm not really up on my drag. Well, any
Well, that's
runway stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but like runway queen could necessarily mean a model. So like, I wouldn't know any famous models. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't think that's a particularly great clue when you live in a house without the internet. But like at home with the internet, I'm sure that that's a good clue.
It definitely is, and I think it will come into play later. Like when she eventually figures out the whole thing, something else would be like, she can even go to the clue wall and try to figure it out. But something else might trigger it later, and she's like, "Oh my god, I can save myself."
We didn't talk about the clue wall, which
Yeah.
was like this like 3D printed wall it was all blue and it had like just different objects on it, which is what made people think somebody was related to Steven Spielberg, because there was a bunch of dinosaurs and there was something else that like I was like, really? You think that has anything to do with directing? And it was like, I don't remember what it was. There was a couple clues that made them point to there, like palm trees, like.
Yeah, I mean that could be like California or Florida or anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was a fun thing because now you'll start to piece a little bit together.
No,
I
I'm
also
not saying there's anything wrong with this wall of clues.
Yeah.
I was just saying the logic people took to get to Steven Spielberg seemed a little.
Well, a lot of their stuff was like movie-based Jurassic Park, and now all that's destroyed because Steven Spielberg's out of the picture.
Well, no, he's not. Somebody else could be related to Steven Spielberg.
That's
You
true.
think Chuck Norris doesn't eliminate the dinosaurs?
I mean, he definitely killed the dinosaurs.
So let's talk about the finale a little bit. So we got this guess off. They called it a guess off, and they go in the voting booth, which is VOT, not
Like a
PH.
It's a photo bavoto.
Yeah, that was a clever pun. Cleverly told by one Frankie Jo-nas, and come up with probably by some writers or producers. And so the way it works is all the people not in the top two vote for somebody in the bottom two, including the winner doesn't get to vote, which is weird. So the 7 people get to vote for one of the bottom 2 to go give a guess. And if you guess right, that person goes home. And if you guess wrong, you go home. That's what I gathered.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But that is not what happened in this vote off. So in this vote off, we found out somebody cheated. Somebody brought their phone in, too addicted to their phone, couldn't leave it at home. So he brought his phone, and Maxwell got kicked off because of it.
I don't think he was too addicted. I think he was like legit trying to cheat. He thought he could do it.
I don't know. Maybe. It's possible. But he didn't like talk to anyone about like, oh, trying to get more clues or anything, as far as we could tell. So I don't know. Anyway, so what was going to happen was Penny was going to guess Steven Spielberg for Maxwell, but Maxwell was really Chuck Norris. So Penny would have gone home.
Pepper.
I knew Penny wasn't right, but I was just going with it. Pepper didn't go home. Maxwell went home because he cheated. I do kind of like the way that they caught the person cheating, unlike Netflix. I think the production value was pretty good on that front. It was like, hold on, we got, we're looking at the footage and we're seeing somebody cheat. Get them out of there. I thought they did. That is obviously something you don't want to have happen. But when it happens, I think that they did a good job here.
Absolutely. I think that it was, well, given those circumstances, it was the right time. I don't know what they would have done if it was 2 people who were not implicated in the cheating situation.
No, I think if there was 2 people, that would have been rough. But any one person there would have gone home.
Yeah, but what I mean is the 2 people up there, one of them was the cheater and they just went home. What if it was like the 2 people up there were still in the game and then the cheater was like watching this unfold?
Yeah, I'm saying it doesn't matter.
No, it does.
Any 10 of those people were cheating, they were going home.
Yeah. But after they revealed the cheater, So initially they said, Pepper, you're not going to have to reveal your guess. But then they made Pepper reveal her guess. So then it was just...
Well, they were just curious.
Yeah, I guess she
I think
could have said...
I think it was just more curiosity. I personally, I don't... So the way these shows are produced, they're not produced in a way where you can let multiple people go home.
No.
Versus not. So one person was going home, and it was whoever cheated. If they cheated, which we know they did. And that was the end of the episode.
Yeah, what a fun way to end it.
I think we're going to go to questions now. But I think an interesting question might be to add to this is like, I think we should talk more about the tone of a reality show. Like do we not like or like the tone of the show? Because I think that's a good thing to talk about that we don't know always talk about. And sometimes it ends up just being in our reviews. So I think I liked the tone of the show. Like it was very serious. Everyone was taken very seriously, but there was fun involved with the serious. I think the edit of the show is like top notch, 100%. Like I think this is a well edited, well produced show. Surprisingly,
Yep. I also thought that the challenge was so heartening. Like you're giving these people who have always felt in the shadow a time to shine, and despite it not like landing, it was still like it landed.
oh yeah, the challenge was good. Yeah. So let's get into who's the worst human being. And
Well,
it's got to be Maxwell, right? He cheated.
Yeah. Should we go to the next person?
The next, I don't know if we really need to go with two worst human beings.
No.
Potentially the person that chose to sing the Star Spangled Banner, knowing they couldn't sing, because that can't be fun for anyone. Really.
No, because you really know that. Oh man. I mean, I can go with X too because he was kind of just not playing the game and being boring as hell.
So I liked his strategy of like, okay, everyone's gonna like 9 of the people are becoming friends and like talking to each other and trying to figure out clues, and X is just in the corner, just being like, I'm not gonna talk to anyone, so no one's gonna get any clues from me about me, but he's not gonna know who the other people are. So
yeah, but now he's a target.
I mean, it could be bad strategy. I don't know. That's the strategy's going. Let's do. What do you think the production schedule on this one is?
Ooh, I don't know how many episodes, but I'm gonna say a month. I think that like they're gonna do.
I think that's a little long here.
Maybe it is a little long. Maybe 2 weeks.
Like they got the challenge. It depends if they'll give like a challenge and then have like a day off challenge, because you could really pump this out in like a week.
Well, so they always did the challenge, and then when they came back to the home, they had 20 hours. So they are doing that whole thing over like 2 days.
Okay. So I
yeah.
I think like 2.5 weeks, between 2 and 3 weeks. For sure.
Okay.
I like our half-assery answers. Let's do some drinking rules. So anytime anyone guesses who somebody is, take a drink.
Anytime a name is dropped, like a
Yeah,
big
that's
name.
the thing.
Oh.
Anytime somebody on the show guesses somebody else.
Oh, no, I was... You know what I was thinking? Like, during, like, their testimonials that they reveal.
Oh, okay. So if
But-
if they say, yeah, but like...
Yeah, maybe
it's
you have to
possible.
finish your drink.
I mean, it could be possibly just like, you could remove mine and put yours in, but like...
No.
I like
okay.
mine. I like the,
Yeah,
guessing when they drink.
I like yours.
I think you got to finish your drink if you guess the person correctly. Or, no, better yet, you
Give
get
it.
to tell somebody else to drink if you get it right. I think that's the ideal there. Any other rules, Brian? We need more rules.
I think this is one where there's also going to be a party and, like, people are drinking. So we got to bring in our classic rule of,
The
like,
classic.
take a drink.
We need to do that classic pod where we come up with all the like stock reality show drinking rules.
Every time Frankie tells a terrible joke.
That's a good one. I think you got to drink during the countdown.
Ooh.
The countdown of the figure out who people are. Yeah. I don't know. I think you're going to get a lot of drinks trying to guess with the guessing. So I'll just leave it there. It's fine. Would this show be better as a Quibi or TikTok?
No. I can't really justify shortening this. They already produced it enough where it's, like, enjoyable throughout and engaging. I think that, like, trying to break it up will hurt it more.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's Quibi. Who's going to hook up next?
Ooh, who's Frankie gonna hook up with? I think Frankie and LC.
Frankie and LC. I haven't really thought about it. What about Louise? And there's only like a couple guys on this show, and they're already kind of gone. Logan and Michael. Logan and Louise.
Logan and Michael's a good one. I mean, legitimately, I think Logan could be a good one.
Yeah.
But I don't know who.
I don't have any real answer for that.
Yeah.
Let's do. What do you love about the show, Brian?
I love that this was actually humorous and taking a new twist on reality shows. I think that everybody in there was just so much fun, and I am excited to watch more.
Yeah, I mean, I love that the tone of the show, I think, was really good. I think the production value of the show is really good. Man, Netflix, you really got to step your game up. Like, it is fucking miserable how well your shows are produced. So, ABC, you're killing it this week. There you go. So, we have a final question. We do stack rankings. So we do a stack ranking of top, middle, bottom, third of reality shows compared to other reality shows. So, Brian, where do you put this one?
Middle of the top. I'm going to finish this entire season. If it ends up being bad later, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Well, you got to keep us up to date.
Okay.
All right. So we had our boy VJ. He was here watching the show with us. He gave it a middle third, middle of the middle. And while I pull up others, I will give my rating. So we have, I'm going to go with middle third. I think guessing celebrities is fucking silly, and I don't want to do it, and I don't care. So like this show is like, is just not something I'm going to enjoy no matter what. But the production value and the Jo-nas brothers and like the camaraderie and just like the tone of the show definitely work for me. So let's get to the middle, which is very shocking to me.
What's funny is like, I think this is going to reflect Masked Singer rankings. Like you mentioned before, that if you like Masked Singer, you're going to like this, and I liked it.
Yeah. I think Rob, if you're listening, you definitely gonna watch. You definitely have to watch this. This is right up your T. Your T. That's not right. I want, but
Right up your alley.
That's what I wanted. Thank you. Max gave it a middle third, bottom of the middle. It has that mystery element of Masked Singer that I kind of enjoy, but overall the show is whatever. However, it gets major points for calling out and punishing cheating, unlike fucking Is It Cake? After having looked at the cast reveals, yeah, nobody's getting like any of them. I guess that's somewhat of a spoiler, maybe not, I don't know. I don't think so.
Damn.
They're hard, apparently. Max, good thing Max isn't on the podcast because he definitely would have been revealing them, and I would have been like, nah.
Yeah, then I wouldn't watch it.
We got Noah. He said bottom, top of the bottom. Clever gimmick, but not intriguing enough to stay pulled in. Characters not interesting enough, or not put in good enough scenarios. There's nothing special about the show. I'm sure folks are great people and glad they're getting a payday. I'll end saying we should all remember to hail the EGOT of Whoopi G.
All I gotta say is I'm really happy like that I'm flipping on like Noah's answers usually. Like if he's like top, I'm just like, it's okay.
Yeah, he's got the top and bottom mix there. So wide ranging of answers there. But I think if you like the Masked Singer, you're gonna like this. So that's it for our discussion. Please vote in our poll at Who Put This On. Tell us what you thought about this. See if you can answer the tie here. We got a top, we got two middles, three middles, I guess, and a bottom. So middles are probably going to win. But let us know what you thought. All right, Brian. Last week, we watched The Rehearsal. So a new episode of The Rehearsal came out. I thought it was pretty good. They actually had a new rehearsal, which I was surprised. Because there's actually one rehearsal going on with the family, and then there's another rehearsal that gets brought in, which I thought was great.
Yeah, it was wild to see that this original rehearsal was like continuing to go and was still off the rails. And then
off the rails. Both of these are off the rails.
But it's great that they kept it going and then just like, yep, we're gonna show you all of this. And then the second one was also just wild.
I loved the fact the guy so Nathan just brings in, okay, the problem is we're not doing enough emotional connection to these rehearsals. So he sets up this elaborate scheme to get him emotionally invested. Then he just fucking pieces. And that's just so good for this show. I think there's so many reality shows that I think would like, it's hard to produce stuff like this and then like not have a real show at the end of it. Like what would happen if somebody just pieced out? But man, for this show, it's so good.
I gotta wonder that there's probably other people that have pieced out in reality shows and we don't see it, and now I'm sad.
Yeah, I know. I just like it was so good. the whole like digging up gold in the middle of the woods. It's just so good. I love that was so good. This family piece, I'm just like I don't really care that much. That person's fucking Nutso Miss Nutso. Like,
well, she thinks Halloween's a satanic holiday, which okay, and then she wants to be really like off the grid and self-sustaining.
but
And so they're getting this like farm, and then they also have to make the farm go in time with everything else. So they're like planting like stuff from the supermarket.
But the thing is, that was funny when they pulled the like the full carrots of the, all the stuff from the farm. But like Nathan goes up to her and she's like, "Yeah." Nathan's like, "But it doesn't say that on the internet. There's no proof." And she was like, "Of course not. They, Satan like makes it his biggest like strength is to be not known and scrub all that from the internet." And she has no desire to like talk about how this isn't a satanic holiday.
Oh my god.
I thought that was great.
I cannot wait to see where this is going to go, because we're definitely getting a small piece of this every single episode until the end of the season.
Yeah, it's good. Definitely. Would you put it back in the top of the top now?
Yeah. Wait, did I not?
I don't remember.
No, I was definitely top.
Some people. Well, I know you put it in the top, but I feel like I was the only one that put it in the top of the top. I don't remember.
Oh, maybe.
And I think it's well deserved spot. I don't really have any other shout outs this week other than Players ended. I like the ending of Players. Very good.
That was good.
Impractical Jokers this season, not very good. No, I can't really recommend that. They lost Joe, and they're doing these weird bits with celebrities that are just awful. And I hope Joe comes back for next season, or the show just might be done. So I don't know. They really got to change it up for next season.
They could also figure something out, but who knows? I generally agree with that, but sometimes when you have like a big shift, you just got to let them work it out.
No, yeah, I'm not like I think the show would be better with Joe back in it, but I'm not saying that the show can only be good if Joe gets back in it.
Yeah.
But I do think a fourth person would make it better. Anyway, Brian, you have any shout outs this week?
Chicken and Birdie is still a pretty good show on HBO Max. Go support it if you're like, I want to learn a little bit more about life.
All right, well, that's it this week for us. You can find us on Twitter at WhoPutThisOn. Vote in the poll. You can find us on Facebook.com/WhoPutThisOn. You can email us questions and suggestions at WhoPutThisOn@gmail.com. And I don't know, what are we watching next week, Brian? Do we have an idea?
We do not.
We have a couple ideas. There's some sort of all-star shore. There's a new challenge spinoff. Maybe we can coerce some of our former co-hosts to come back for some sort of challenge spinoff. I don't know.
We could do some mole shows. Hustler.
There's some mole shows. We'll figure it out. Tweet at us. Let us know what you think we should watch. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
Cause the eyes of a ranger are upon you. Any wrong you do, he's gonna see. When you're in Texas, look behind you. Cause that's where the ranger's gonna be.